Hey everybody, this is Grace. In this video, I'm going to talk about something about when people, they don't take accountability for what they do. But I'm going to use an analogy, somewhat. But earlier today, I was thinking about this of how some people will call, truly toxic people, or some just call them narcissists. I don't think they're diagnosing. That takes an actual professional, qualified professional to diagnose. Somebody with narcissistic personality disorder. Yeah, so they just call them narcissists. Okay, these days it's like a slang, I guess. But they would always bring up, some people would bring up Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Now, that wasn't the disorder I ever, first heard referred to as, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. But people use that. They say that, the person that's narcissistic in their lives, goes from one behavior to another. I've seen that. But, yeah, then it made me think of it something else. Okay, and I've been thinking about this quite a bit lately. Over months, really, but I've never put it together this way in my own head until today. It's like when somebody sets out purposefully to harm another person, but in a sneaky way. Okay, it's like if somebody gives you, some kind of information that's actually factual. It's a fact, but they spin it in such a way that it totally kind of takes away from the original meaning or purpose or whatever of whatever they're telling you. They spun it, you see. It's barely recognizable after they get finished with it. But they can go back and say, hey, here's the research that shows it's fact but spun. They don't say that it's but spun, but it is. Now, this might sound strange, but it is strange. It's strange when somebody does this. They take some kind of factual information, they put it out, say like on a video on YouTube, and they put it out, but their purpose for the way they spin it, they put a little bit of a spin that is meant for one person or a group of people, okay? It can be one or more. And it can also be one or more person making the video. But they put it out there to, intentionally, I don't know, it could be, do some kind of, mental harm, or just try to ruin the person's reputation, or anything. It could be for any kind of purpose that's, something like that. That's not that great. It's mean, it's hateful, it's whatever. They're doing it for, picking fun at people, I think is a term a lot of people would use. Picking fun of somebody, or just, trying to hurt them. Yeah, I'm trying to simplify it. Okay, now I think a lot of people, probably heard or maybe even experience when somebody just keeps poking you. They just keep poking that hibernating bear. They just, I remember when I was young, somebody did it to me, actually, literally, kept poking my arm, and have somebody just keep poking you. Yeah. Not a good thing. And then your reaction might be, if you keep saying, like a sibling, you keep saying, would you stop, would you stop, would you stop, and they just keep doing it, and goes on and on. And maybe you're a captive audience or a captive person, like, when you're sitting in the car waiting for your parents to come out of the store or something, and somebody keeps poking you. That's not a good thing. It's the crazy making kind of behavior. It's not a good thing. Now, where I'm going with this is that the people who are doing that will keep doing that, make the crazy making, and as many people know, that's when they, when the person they just made crazy just says, can't handle anymore. They've tortured that person. They've done that, that mental torture. That person just screams out. Then they say, see there, that's a crazy person. They blame the victim, their victim. Okay. So yeah, you gotta watch for these people. Okay, and the person or people, it can be plural, all of this. that does all this crazy making, does all these bad behaviors, even if it's not just crazy making, they're building a monster, or they're trying to. They never think there would be any consequences to their actions. They don't feel that. Some people just think it's fun. I mean, literally, they don't think that it could do any harm of what they're doing, picking on people or something like that, keep poking people. No, it's to them, it's just about them, that they get to do, and they think they're funny, or they think that they're, oh, look how wise they are, that they can come up with this thought, and they really don't think very far. I'm not sure how much they can think. Yeah. But they think it's fun. It's something fun to do. And it's not. And it's not fun for that person they're doing it to. But they don't really care. It's all about them. Now, this person, like I said, they don't seem to think that there could be consequences to their actions. Okay, all of this and then some, well, I'll probably have it in my title. But, it makes me think about Frankenstein and Frankenstein's monster. Now, I don't really remember much of that movie. I watched it eons ago. But I did kind of look it up to get the gist of it again, and yeah, I remember that part. But that basically, Frankenstein built a monster, and then the monster turned on him. Yeah. And that would be the lesson. I mean, I'm not talking about in some kind of, now the monster, of course, would not turn to in any legal way, but yeah, I'm talking about when somebody has had enough and they do something that is legal, retaliation that is legal, although in some places retaliation is not legal at all. That would be, strike that. Yeah, that would be something totally different, that whole video on itself. But somebody builds a monster, keeps poking that hibernating bear. What's that bear going to do? What's that monster going to do? And then they're going to themselves play like they are the victim, and that's what they'll do. They'll play the victim, and they'll blame the actual victim. Okay, the one that they kept poking, that bear they kept poking. Yeah. I mean, there could be different things that come from this, like, or you can think, is that these people who created them, created something, poking the hibernating bear, like I said, or a monster, they're blaming, Frankenstein, they're blaming the monster for being a monster. One they created. Yeah. But anyway, I'm talking about, when somebody turns, somebody's been picked on, and they do something in a more civilized manner, in a civilized manner, I should not say in a more, in one, within the system, to to say no. No, it's not really even retaliation. It's just simply no. But the other people, the ones who are doing it, think of it as retaliation, or think of it as, why would this person think that they can do that? They don't get it, because they think that they're above it all. They are above everything. So for someone to say, no, you're not, oh my goodness, what is this? You see what I'm saying? And anyway, I mean, some people just don't get it. They gang up on somebody. And I don't know if it's that they just don't get it, they just don't care. That they gang up on people, kind of like a collective narcissism, herd mentality, along this line. And they gang up on a person, and when that person says no, and then there winds up being a consequence for their actions, or consequences for their actions, the original group, oh my, what a sin to them. But there could be consequences to your actions. There's always consequences to actions, and all around. So anyway, some of them are spin masters. They spin a story, like I was talking about from in the beginning, closer to the beginning of this video, is that they throw out factual information, but they spin it. Yeah. And like I said, there's consequences, and I'm not saying anybody going, what the term used to be postal or anything, but yeah, they say no, and they work within the system, and yeah, that person gets to see what it's like when you're wrong. You might not ever think of themselves as wrong. Some people don't. They will never think of themselves as wrong, even though they are. Especially, like I said, anyway. I've had to delete some clips, but anyway, let me wrap up part of this, and I'll make another video later on to continue. But the people who poke that hibernating bear, they need to see that they are the ones who will be held accountable for it. They could be. That bear is not going to be nice and shake your hand and say, please don't treat me wrong. But yeah, they are the ones who have some accountability to go there. They are the ones who will probably pay the price. And I'm talking about in a civilized manner, not a bear. But yeah, they'll pay the price for their actions eventually. Because you just can't keep going around poking hibernating bears and nothing ever happens. Okay, I've deleted some clips, but anyway, just don't be Frankenstein. How difficult is that? Well, I know for some people it's extremely difficult because they get a thrill. Okay, they get a thrill. Yeah, they just think this is the way to go in life. There's so many different things, but no, it's not. It's not the way to be at all. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Talk to y'all later.